Hello everyone, Eric the Racket Scientist here. Today I'm here at the Bellevue Badminton Club in Redmond, which is their newest BBC location. Today they're hosting a tournament called the Racket Rumble, which is a tournament targeted at mostly intermediate players or players who don't really participate in normal open or BCD bracket tournaments. So today we're here to go talk to some players, see what it's like. For someone who's curious as to what kind of like an entry level or intermediate tournament is going to be like, then this is going to be the vlog for you. So let's go ahead and go inside. So we're here today at the Racket Rumble, and you already played some of your games?
Yes, we played 2 games.
Okay, well first of all, we know each other.
Yeah. Yes, I've known you for like 8 years.
Pretty long time, yeah. And where did we used to play together?
Husky Badminton Club.
And so how did you end up hearing about this tournament?
I heard this tournament from seeing a poster on like the BBC walls. Yeah.
What motivated you to actually play?
So actually, I participated in some tournaments like SBC Closed, Washington Open, and I want to like improve and stuff. And then I found my partner Alan, so we're just trying out our chemistry and see how far we'll go.
So how did you feel like your games are so far?
We definitely think we're doing well right now. We didn't know it was more of an intermediate tournament until Jay told us. But I think, I think it's a good practice for us to build consistency and then like hit the spots instead of trying to smash every point.
For sure, for sure. Would you say you're having fun anyways?
Yeah, I'm having fun, and I didn't expect to see you here.
Show the camera. What do we have here?
Oh, we have the Arc Saber 11 Pro.
All right. Is 4U G5?
For you, I think the standard. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool, cool. And what strings do we have on it?
My favorite Aero Bite strings, 26x28.
Why did you purchase this racket?
So there's a story. I asked my coach in Taiwan, what is a good racket for intermediate players to get better? And he said a well-balanced racket will improve your form, because sometimes head-heavy rackets can make you overcompensate too much and not build a really good like routine. So I feel like this is a really good starting point.
Yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
Honestly, I'm just really interested to improve. I think my goal is to get to win D or get to the quarterfinals of C.
Okay, cool. Well, so that seems like a good segue. Do you want to jump in too? Hello. How are your games?
It's been the first in a while, like the actual tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm doing better every game.
Okay. Yeah, that's great to hear. Wait, so did you guys used to play tournaments in the past then?
No, this is actually our first one. I actually asked him 2 years ago, but we never had a chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually have a game now, I think.
Oh, you have a game now. Okay. I'll let you go. I'll talk to you after then. Sorry.
Thank you.
So how are we doing today?
Doing good, yeah. Just finished up our second tournament together, right?
Yeah, second tournament together.
Yeah, I'm loving the competitive experience. I think going to tournaments is a great way to improve. And put yourself out there with like the tournament mindset and that experience. Like, there's a lot of people that never get used to that pressure, so I think it's really good practice, and you learn a lot from it, especially when people are like doing whatever they can. You see like their habits and sort of thing. You get a lot more time to adapt, and I think it's really great to play just good badminton.
There's a lot of good competitive games out there. A lot of people are really going for the win, and so it's a really good experience to check out that type of intensity that you don't normally get. So
People go all out in tournaments, so I think it's definitely a different experience for sure.
it's definitely a place to find your weaknesses and capitalize on your strengths. Definitely a different playing experience. With friends is for glory, but out here, trying to move up the ranks, it really feels like a whole different competition.
Are you starting to build confidence to maybe play like more like traditional tournaments? Seeing as this is kind of targeted towards more like newcomers, more intermediate people who don't have as much experience.
Yeah, I'm overall feeling a lot more comfortable. It's kind of a mixed bag because like obviously in tournaments, like I've had some people like really exploit weaknesses and that feels bad, but it also feels really good because I know what those weaknesses are, and it's making me a much more well-rounded player, and I think it helps build so much more confidence when going up into like the bigger tournaments. So yeah, I'm feeling ready.
Yeah, this is a great stepping stone to be able to get your foot in the door of competitiveness and really exploring how the tournament experience feels. So
Yeah.
I'd say overall it's a fantastic experience to get people started and into the competition form of it to be able to move up.
Can I ask how long have you guys been playing badminton?
I've been playing consistently for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, I've been playing since last January.
What made you want to play the first tournament?
Yeah, it was It was a pretty casual experience, actually. So like I played like badminton like a random like high school gym unit and that sort of thing. And I was a fan of it, and I didn't touch it for a while. Since I grew up in Illinois, and there wasn't really much of like a boys badminton program there, except for like the really dedicated club stuff, which like unfortunately I did not start as like a young kid or anything like that. But my last semester of college, there was the availability to take like a very casual like badminton class. I had some extra credit hours. I was like, hey, why not? Like I really enjoyed it. And then once I moved out here, I was like, all right, I'm gonna like play some more games. I started going to like community centers, playing more casual games, that sort of thing, getting into it. And then it was actually about 4 months ago, back in March, where we played in the first Racket Rumble, and that was my first experience because I was like, hey, like this is fun. I'm having a good time. I want to play like harder and better games.
Yeah, overall, my friend showed me last January, so got me into the game, got me introduced to the basics, and overall, I'm a pretty competitive person. I do a few other competitive series, and so the feeling of competition is something that, pretty fun to experience. So I always wanted to get better. I really hit a grind last year to try to get the basics down. Still working on developing what I can develop, but overall, it's been a real fun experience getting into the competitive side of it and continue that.
Can I ask you to show me your rackets? Ooh, okay.
Got this one here.
Yes.
Victor Drive 9X. Got this about 2 years ago. It's been holding me up pretty solidly. At the time, I think I got it for like 180, 190 or so. So definitely like an upper mid-range, well high-range racket. It's a bit head-heavy, which I feel like I kind of regret going a bit head-heavy since I mostly play doubles, and I would prefer to go to a lighter racket. For me, I went for a more balanced racket since I didn't really know anything about rackets. So overall, I'm very happy with my choice, even if like now I know like what I'd want to do in the future and that sort of thing.
I actually think this is an excellent racket for like intermediate players. It's very easy to use and very balanced. What string and tension are you using, if you know?
I think the NG95, something like that, or BG95, something like that. I think 24 pounds.
And what do you have here?
Yeah, so I have a Volant Flight S1, I think. Yeah, it's a headlight racket. I really like it for defense. I really like it for its ability to be speedy on the draw. So it really helps me feel prepared for these, higher level of play tournaments and the faster games.
So that's really interesting. I've definitely heard of Volant. I've seen their YouTube videos. This is my first time seeing one in person, so that's really interesting. How did you get to purchasing this racket?
So a friend was moving to Korea, so he was offloading some of his badminton goodies. He played for the Husky team, and he had some extra rackets, so I was able to get a good deal earlier this year and use up my badminton budget to upgrade the equipment.
Oh, cool. Wait, who did you know at Husky?
Ko.
Oh, Ko. Yeah. He's my homie.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he's my guy. Oh man, like he told me he had a Volant and he told me he was gonna let me try it, but then he moved and I was like, what happened to that racket? So I guess he sold it to you. Any other last words?
No, I appreciate the...
Don't be afraid to compete, guys. Like, if you haven't competed, like, don't be afraid to lose, honestly. Like, I think people are scared to say, like, oh, like, I'm not ready for a tournament. I need to, boost these things. Like, you're never going to be ready. Just go. Thanks
to the club for putting on this tournament. It's a real good experience builder. It's an awesome way to get out and get competitive games in, so...
How are you guys feeling about, the tournament overall?
Pretty good, yeah. It's less competitive overall, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's great what they're doing. Having recreational tournaments has been a lot of fun. I played at the one that they did in Renton a couple months back, and I'd say that the skill level overall is pretty consistent with what I saw there. I mean, it's great to have a place where people who don't necessarily have professional training can still come and compete and feel like they're part of the whole badminton ecosystem. So yeah, I think it's great.
Have you guys played other tournaments before?
Yeah, we played at Husky this year. Yeah.
Husky Open?
Yeah, Husky Open.
Yeah, Husky Open, and then we also played at the Boba Mitten thing last year. And then, like I said, I also played at the Racket Rumble that they hosted in Renton a couple months back.
How long have you guys been playing?
Like 2 to 3 years, maybe.
I'd say probably on and off for like 7 years or so.
What motivated you guys to compete this time around?
I saw the poster at work because I work at Bellevue Badminton, and I was like, oh, okay, that could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll take any opportunity to play recreationally, like especially when I'm not having to worry about playing against people who are like nationally ranked or coming from some type of like seeded tournament.
And so you mentioned you work at BBC right now, or?
Yeah.
And you also worked at another place, which is kind of relevant, which is?
Oh, I used to work at Pro Racket Sports too. Yeah.
And you were a stringer there? Or?
I was a stringer there. I was a part-time sales associate as well.
And you also used to play at Husky, right?
I used to play at Husky too, yeah.
Can you talk me through what rackets you guys have?
I play with the NanoFlare 700. It's the magenta one. It's an easy racket, I'd say. very light, very head light.
Do you remember what string and tension you have on it?
Aerobite at 26 pounds.
So I've got a really old Brave Sword 12 that I've probably been using since I started playing. Probably 25 or 26 pounds tension.
I strung your racket.
Sounds
It's
right.
26.
I have no idea what strings.
It's
I usually just defer that to her. Also got a NanoFlare 11 Tor that I picked up recently. And then I want to say another NanoFlare
I
something.
think it's the 1,000.
The 1,000? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the yellow one.
I mean, for someone who claims to not really be into rackets, you seem like you have quite a few.
Well, I picked up those 2 rackets recently because I broke 2 other rackets within the past 3 months. So I figured it'd probably be a good idea to have a couple backup.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, any last comments about tournament equipment? Any shout outs?
I mean, I hope they keep doing more of them. You know, summertime's a great time to be doing it, but I hope that it's something that they just keep doing throughout the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will kind of create a little bit of some type of seeding capabilities for future tournaments for people who are, winning these ones early on, so that there's a better sense of where people really should be and whatnot. And maybe we'll end up getting brackets in these rec tournaments. I don't know. Because I think that at Husky Open or the Boba Mitten or the Seattle Open or whatever, they've got 5 brackets or something like that, which is great, right? But I would say that everybody here really could fit in that ED category, and even within that, there's so much range of skill level. Everybody here really is a beginner to maybe low intermediate player, but within that, there's just a really, really wide range of skill levels and capabilities, and it's just not really it's just not really very competitive to take somebody on the low end of that and then the high end of that and put them into a match together. I mean, it's like putting somebody at our skill level against a nationally ranked player.
Did you have fun at least?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to playing our next game. Hopefully we can win that one too.
All right. Good luck on everything. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. All right. So we're here today with
Dr. Chris Lee from Pinnacle Performance Physio.
Okay, and it's good to see you again at another tournament.
Good to see you again as well. Yeah, it's awesome being at tournaments, and especially the Racket Rumble I think is really great for beginner and intermediate players. So it's good to get more community involvement.
Can you just in a nutshell describe who you are and what you're doing here today?
Yeah, I'm a licensed doctor of physical therapy. So I am a physical therapist who provides, injury screen services, treatment, and general advice for players or maybe even spectators. I play and coach badminton as well, so I know the sport really well. But I'm just here with my table as a free resource for people who are interested, or who might need some help.
It's really nice to have the table here because it provides players more visibility into the treatment options, because some people may have issues but maybe don't necessarily think of seeking treatment for them, right?
Right. Yeah, a lot of the people who I talk to think physical therapy is just a very limited scope. That we're is it just exercises or is it just, do you do massage?
Yeah.
But there's a whole slew of things that we do. Of course, there's a lot of manual therapies like dry needling, cupping, manipulation, soft tissue work. But there's also a big educational aspect of it.
Yeah.
Exercises, of course, are incorporated. But yeah, come talk to me and I'll answer all your questions. There's a lot to talk about.
One thing I'm curious about is, compared to at Husky Open where you have maybe more seasoned athletes, here they're more intermediate and beginner. So I'm wondering, do you notice any kind of differences in trends here, or do people have different injuries, or they come to you for different things?
For sure, actually. There's a lot of injuries that aren't what I expect, actually. I'm seeing a lot of biceps pain or, calf cramps and things that you just wouldn't expect compared to, say, the rotator cuff or a knee sprain. I think that has to do with maybe the technique or the form that's a little bit different. It's really nice to be able to watch them play and see what they're doing versus, a more intermediate or advanced player. Everyone kind of typically has the same form, plus, maybe a little variation here and there. But it's definitely keeps my job interesting.
Lifestyle. Okay. So how much does that play into like injury proneness and stuff like that?
Quite a bit. So for example, someone who sits for 8 hours a day, they're basically compressing their back about 50% more than someone who's not sitting for work, right? So what that leads to is tight hip flexors, weakened core, inability to activate their posterior chain, and they're just not as effective on court, right? So that leads to more injuries. Not necessarily because, they're not training hard enough or playing enough times a week. It's just that they spend a significant amount of time compressing their spine and tightening their muscles and compressing their nerves in a bad way. Yeah, so it affects it quite a bit, right? Okay. Same thing could happen in the neck.
Even if you're someone who plays badminton like 1 or 2 times a week, even at a high intensity, and even if you could be like a high level athlete, you could still be susceptible to these sorts of things if you have that sort of lifestyle. Is that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are some simple things that we can do to kind of help mitigate those things if we're some people who sit for a long time?
Setting a timer on your phone or on your computer, like a 20-minute, 30-minute timer, just a little beep to remind you to, hey, let's get up, swing my arms a little bit, stretch out, stand up, take a couple steps. That's really, really easy to do. Takes maybe less than a minute every 30 minutes or so, and could make a big change.
Final question, what can people do to avoid injuries? Like a lot of people are concerned about like rolling their ankles and like, kind of their tearing tendons or whatever. So what can we do to kind of help mitigate that? Yeah, it's a loaded question.
That's it could be different for everyone, but for the most part, knowing your limits and staying within them. So and just staying active, but within your limits regularly.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to push past your limits, you have to also do that on a regular basis. But everyone has like a window of opportunity where we can push past our limits a little bit where it's still safe and not causing injuries to ourselves. So that's kind of the tough part. It's not just going to be, oh yeah, do this or do that. You kind of have to really get to know your own body, which is just a process of exercising and stretching, foam rolling. Taking time to think about your own body and what you feel.
Yeah, and the tough part is when you talk about going beyond your limits, especially in a tournament like a competitive setting, I think people are a little more inclined to like kind of push themselves more. Would you say there's like a mental aspect to that too?
For sure. I would say what my old coach used to say is train like you're playing a competition, right? And compete like you're training. So that when you're training or playing that 1 or 2 times a week, right, you're keeping your intensity up and you're getting ready for a competition style. Or level of play, and then when you're competing, just think about what you do on a regular basis, right? You don't want your tournaments and competitions to really be any different than your regular play.
Okay, cool. I think that's all I have for you. Do you have any kind of shout outs or last words, anything on your mind?
No, yeah, just remember I'm here. Pinnacle Performance Physio is in Bellevue at the BBC location in Bellevue. Come stop by and say hi.
Again, thanks so much for your time. I really like talking to you. I'll come bother you at the next tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how's your tournament so far?
This is actually my first tournament, so we actually got much farther than we thought because this is our 4th round.
Yeah, we made it. I'm surprised too, yeah. Just playing for fun. We just usually play with a bunch of club folks. Just enter the tournament for fun. Ask them to be a partner. Say yes.
Yeah, and then especially for our first tournament, this was a lot. I learned a lot, even though it was my first tournament, especially from our last match. The only casualties is that we got 2 broken rackets.
No, 2 broken rackets?
We got 2 broken rackets.
Oh, they both broke.
No. It was such a clash that if you could see right here.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
And then you can't really see it from here, but there's like a little crack over there. But that's how much we were putting into these matches. We were doing so all out.
We put our life on the line.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a RSP 80X, and then this was an RSP 90K. Okay. So
just got strong 2 days ago.
Oh no.
I technically only started like in January for fun, and so then I started like putting more effort into like practicing and playing with like Brian and the other folks in our group.
Yeah.
And so
You've only been playing for 5 months?
yeah.
Wait, that's crazy. What the heck?
No, I think he's lying. I think he's secretly doing like private lessons. He's not a 5 months person.
I'm a club player. I'm just a club player for fun. Badminton is just a great sport.
Do you guys play together often? Or?
And we played 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then I think for 1 month before, we were trying to actually play more doubles together to get more used to it.
Get the experience, learn the strategy, learn how to actually thought process goes, learning how to like serve return. There's just like a lot of concepts.
And then honestly, the biggest thing is that the tournament was just, we just like enjoy badminton, so we wanted to try it out. And then that's the main reason. Even during the times we were playing doubles, we were just playing casual.
Fun.
Small strategies, but it's like overall just playing for fun.
Do the things that you practice, were you able to kind of implement, or you see them using them during the tournament?
I definitely think because we did warm up yesterday and today, and it definitely in our matches we played our best, and I think definitely the best of our abilities in comparison to before. Other than when we were getting used to, because we broke our rackets, right? So we were trying to get used to our rackets.
Yeah.
But other than that small snippet,
Maybe the communication. I gotta fix that.
Would you consider playing other tournaments in the future too?
Definitely. I think. I didn't know we were playing.
Where are we playing then?
We're playing?
Oh,
I just heard our name.
Yeah.
okay. You should go check. Yeah, you can come back after. Sorry to interrupt, just a quick note. Unfortunately for these next few clips, I've lost the audio from my wireless microphone. I think when moving around the camera, either I or someone else might have bumped the cable a little bit. What this means is for these clips, my phone was recording audio from the built-in microphone, and so there's a lot of background noise. I did my best to isolate the voices a little bit with editing, but unfortunately it can only go so far. But out of respect for the people who took their time to let me interview them, I've decided to still leave several clips in, even if they're a little bit hard to hear. All right, so welcome back. We have the same guys with us right now. So congratulations, you guys won first place. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Great. Fabulous. Tired. Yeah. Me and Alan always try really hard. So how challenging was it to make it all the way through the bracket to this contest? At first, it's sort of straightforward, but in our last two games, so let's talk about your finals match anyways. Like, what kind of play style did your opponents have? What kind of adaptations did you have to like, what did you have to do? What was your strategy? They're very attacking and fast, but also make mistakes. So we just be stable and don't give them too much. Yeah, they were heavy smashers, and so I helped them trying to set up good shots. Congratulations again, and am I going to be seeing you at other tournaments in the future? I hope that's as of now. Yeah, well, we'll discuss. Okay, we'll get on for sure. Sounds great. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll look on your future tournaments whenever I see you. Yeah. Thank you for interviewing us. Thank you. Absolutely. First of all, congratulations. Looks like a really tough session. It's like you played really well. How do you feel about
it was really great. We all were just smashing around left and right, and yeah, it was a pretty competitive match. First one was very close. It was 18-21, and then I think second one was later, but yeah, we all were smashing hard. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Hope so next time we'll win gold. Yeah, that's the spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the fact, do you find that it was a very rewarding experience, and do you think that you will try to play more tournaments in the future?
Yeah, it was a really good, rewarding experience. It showed us where we stand, especially against the one who actually we learned a lot of things, a lot of mistakes that we did while playing.
Yeah.
So I think next time we come pretty hard, try to play consistently so that we win here. Yeah, that's the spirit. Yeah. Across the bracket, like how many games did you have to play, and like, how did the difficulty increase as you? So first game, I think it was pretty hard. We were getting warmed up. We didn't not smash it. I didn't smash it. We were feeling our energy, and as the bracket was kept in, the semi-final was so tough. So we were runners-ups of this tournament, and then that's where we actually went all in.
Okay.
We gave our 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm one of the Smasher players. So I tend to use 88D Pro, the Astro 88D Pro mode, and the string that I have is currently it's 65 to 25 tension.
I use Astro 7DG, it's a basic drive. So my tension is also so I like that range of
Cool. Great job again today. I won't take up too much of your time. Thanks so much for giving me the time to talk to me about it. I hope to see you at the next birthday.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Nice. Okay. Cool. So, yeah. Thanks for running off.
No problem.
It's not like you had something important to do, like play like that.
Yeah, they definitely didn't call our name out. Yeah. And we were not expecting to play again.
Yeah. Tournament overall, how do you guys feel about it at this point?
I think it was pretty well organized. We had enough time to rest for our next match. And then, yeah, other than that, I enjoyed the tournament really well.
Wasn't too crowded, you know, we had time to warm up, space to do it, a lot of things that were pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Do you want to do any like shout outs or any last comments or anything?
I want to thank my partner Brian. Wouldn't be here without him today, and the community that we play with. Yeah, honestly.
Do you feel the same, or is it like kind of
it's one way?
It's only one with no, I appreciate it because Brandon reached out to me and then like, because I wasn't sure who to play with and I was still thinking about if I wanted to play, but then since you reached out, I'm like, hey, let's play. If you're interested in playing badminton, just join your local club and then just, because a lot of the community is really nice, and then just to ask someone who you know, and it's like, hey, I want to play badminton. And then the tournaments is a really great way to meet people. If you're struggling to meet with people, Mixer's is a great way of trying to play with other people because it can be a little bit intimidating. You just need to set up your UBR online, and then if you don't have it set up, they'll let you know. And I think the community is really nice in comparison to like other sports type plays. Some of them are very toxic. They're very toxic, yeah. But I think the badminton, they're very nice. Everyone's very nice.
Willing to help, willing to teach.
Willing to ask you for a tournament that you want to be partners with.
Just chill.
How did you hear about this tournament? Why did you decide to play?
Yeah, I moved here from Vancouver, BC a year and a half ago. Just started playing with people, met Peter. And Peter's kind of like up and coming, just started pretty recently. And yeah, and just like tournaments coming, they played one and I was looking for a partner for the previous round. And we started with that one and we played again this time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we saw people far from the first time, and then we had a good time in the first Racket Rumble. I think we pretty much played the same amount of games and kind of the same place we were at before.
Yeah. Last time we made it to consolation finals, and this time we made it to semifinals.
But it was a great time. Yeah, very good experience, and I feel like every time I've gone so far, I've learned a lot from it. So it's definitely inspired me to improve more.
Would you say this is a good way for like recreational players to get encouraged to like
Yeah, I think the skill level is pretty wide here. So there's people who are obviously on the higher end of intermediate, like lower advanced, and then lower end of intermediate as well. So once you've kind of gotten comfortable with playing with your partner, I think jumping in is a great way to play. And you find it's really surprising how hard you push yourself in tournament setting compared to like when you're playing with your regular group or in dropping groups, things like that.
Yeah, I would agree because I also do mixers and reservations too, and playing at these tournaments is definitely a different feeling, different experience, and I feel like it's something that you can't really replicate at mixers.
So how long have you guys been playing with badminton?
I played it like for fun as a kid, and then when my work started doing like a sponsored one, I started playing once a week there. But I pretty much only started taking it more seriously once I moved here.
Okay, and how long ago was that?
Yeah, like 5 years ago, and then more seriously now after a bunch of years ago.
This month will be actually my year. And I initially didn't really, like I played a little bit in high school for like practice sports, but I didn't really understand how intensely that would be. And my goal for I got addicted to it, so I just ever since then I just kept on playing. it's been life changing for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about equipment. So you guys have some interesting rackets. Let's talk about racket.
Yeah, I got the Doraemon Victor Collab racket. I just got it. I almost bought this.
It's actually a sick looking bag.
It's a great bag. It has all the compartments. And I also impulse bought this in Vancouver when I visited. I just saw it in the shop. And I was like, yes. My bag was a little small, so this is great because it has like 2 compartments and it's just big enough. And it's cute.
Yeah, exactly. That's the important part. So what are you using here?
This is a picture custom. Kind of like it a lot. I was originally using a Astronaut 88E, which was a very popular racket recommended me, which I still like, but I felt like I gravitated more to stick with racket. So I like this one.
Thanks so much for your time. Do you have any like last kind of like shout outs or
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Peter. He pulled his cap mid-game and he kept playing, and then we won the next 2 sets. Bears, like we're 23-21 and like 22-20. Game 3 situation for both of them. It was nuts. So he really pulled through. And thank you to Alex, the fantastic house coaches us, kind of too friendly. And I think just in general, everyone here is super friendly. So.
I definitely say that. I want to shout out to the staff for sure. Alex, Joffrey, and over in Bucketfield to Amy, Sophia, just kind of great people. They're always welcome, very welcoming to us, and I feel like they definitely promoted, helped promote just kind of this ability to be a person who's talking about.
So this is the second Racket Rumble. How did that idea? Or was it third? Oh, really? It's a third. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How did the idea for this tournament come about?
We wanted to create a tournament it was initially for our juniors. We have a lot of juniors in our training program, the recreation side, learning how to play badminton, and they didn't really have anything to play. So in order to keep them motivated in training, we created our Racket Rumble Series tournament specifically for them, and then we just included the adults recently.
Okay, makes sense. And it seems like it's gained a little bit of traction. I found a lot of repeat vendors and stuff like that. You know, what is the general feedback about it?
Most people are like they really enjoy the tournament because they have something where they can play with other players at their level. We are using the Victor new Carbon Sonic shuttle as well. So we do want to make sure that we are deterring the higher players or the higher level players. So we're not using any feather shuttles. So I'm sure a lot of those players will not want to play this tournament. And even those who do play this tournament, when they find that it's a little bit too easy for them, then they play one, so then they will not play the next one. And we do find like a lot of the repeat players are the ones that are like just more the club players playing recreationally and just like the perfect tournament.
Yeah. So, what lies in the future? Are you going to do more iterations of this tournament? Have you thought about expanding and changing up a little bit? Or
we do find with this level of tournament, people usually want to keep it a one-day event. We don't want to make it too big right away, and we do cap the tournament so it doesn't get too big. Like today, we started at 11 a.m. and we finished at just a little bit past 2. So it's just a really quick tournament, quick turnaround where people can sleep in, come in and play, and then they still have like their afternoon and evening available. Same with the kids. A lot of the kids now have like a billion things to do, and the parents are all requesting, oh, can we keep it one day? And we do our best to keep it one day, and it has been one day so far. If it does get bigger, then we'll have to maybe go across another weekend where this weekend we just do this age category.
Just talk a little bit about who you are, what your role is at BBC, the different hats you wear, and just kind of your experience for the years.
Yeah, definitely a lot of hats I'm wearing. I am the head coach at the Bellevue Badminton Club. I run and do all the training programming in the training side for juniors and adults. And that kind of just, averted me to, I needed to keep our kids more interested in the training program. So that's why I created the tournament. So kind of putting more hats on top of myself. So yeah, but mainly I am the head coach at Bellevue Badminton Club. And my job is to promote and to get people better at that.
You yourself have some content would you like to talk about?
Okay, yeah, so I also have started some online content at Sweet Spot Badminton, so youtube.com/@sweetspotbadminton. That channel is more geared toward teaching people how to coach and the ins and outs of training, where it doesn't go as in-depth with other channels. I've also started Badminton Training Academy, and this is an online training platform where I will give training plans and pretty much get people or teach people how to train badminton properly, where it has a systematic approach to progressing and regressing drills, and teaching people that you can't just watch a YouTube video and expect to understand and know how to do the shot right away, but there is a training process involved. And also having the weekly live Zoom calls where people can send me their training videos where I give feedback. So it's just a lot more than just watching a YouTube channel and learning how to play badminton that way. It's actually learning how to train and getting feedback.
Well, thanks so much for your time. I'm sure this is not the last time I'll see you on my channel or be on your channel, but busy guy. I'll let you go now. Thanks so much for everything. Thanks for organizing this tournament. I think a lot of people will have this opportunity.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
So if you made it this far, thanks for watching my vlog on the Racket Rumble tournament. I think it was really rewarding to see a tournament that was targeted more for intermediate players. A lot of people said that it was a good way for them to get into the competitive aspect of badminton. Virtually all of them had positive experiences and expressed interest in playing more tournaments in the future. I think it's really important that we have events like this to encourage people to get more into the competitive side of badminton, and also encourage people to keep improving and better themselves, because that's the kind of thing that helps our community grow. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.